Indiana Jones, It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. Indiana Jones Minute.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute, the podcast where we reclaim our property from the film Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade 1 minute at a time. I'm Tom Taylor.
I'm Pete Carboneto Mummert.
Yeah, it's me. I'm. You have me stunned there, Pete. I was Pete Carboneto. I'm Gerald Christopher Marcus Porter.
And as always, not as always, but as often, we are here with Christy Porter. Professor Christy Porter, welcome back.
Hi, guys. Glad to be here.
Hey, Christy.
Hey.
Good to see you again.
Mom says hello and clean your room.
Roger that.
And
Okay.
put something in the duck's mouth. Anything. A toasted cheese.
Looking at you, Jonathan Carlisle.
We are here to discuss minute 13 of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, which begins with Indy getting doused by a wave as he's held by some goons, and it ends with Indy punching the Panama Hat guy and taking the Cross of Coronado back.
Okay, so I did a YouTube search for off the coast of Portugal.
Oh, good.
And yeah, there were several videos of inclement weather.
Uh-huh.
And as a matter of fact, there were a lot of videos of crazy-looking sea monsters, too. So, yeah, I would suggest anybody who's, got like a Tuesday to a Thursday, to waste, search off the coast of Portugal. But I do think that off the coast of Portugal is a fantastic setting for any adventure, or actually just for anything at all.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Sure.
Like it's just a great sort of stand-in for, off the coast of Portugal.
Well, I did not see off the coast of Portugal coming. It's true. They really caught me by surprise here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I would not have guessed that there's a lot of inclement weather there.
I think anytime you go out on the high seas, there's bound to be inclement weather, especially if I'm a swashbuckling adventurer.
I was wondering off the coast of Portugal, that's kind of like the Azores, right?
Well, that's 1,000
Ish.
miles off the coast of
Yes,
Portugal.
yes.
I mean, that's not really just off the
Technically, anything's off the coast of Portugal.
That's true. When you're 1,000 miles.
let me ask you guys, when you see this and the waves and Indy in the hat and he's, soaking, do you guys feel cold?
Yeah. Freezing.
Okay,
Really?
yeah, all right.
Well,
yeah.
because I just imagine the water here in California, which is very cold.
Yeah. I felt that too. For some reason, I was like shivering while I was watching,
I was
Indy
too.
in the floppy hat because it's so wet.
It is floppy.
Yeah.
Quite floppy.
It's also, it doesn't, I have a general critique and a compliment about this scene, is that as we're sort of getting into it, I do find this, like the next couple of minutes, very boring.
Really?
Like this fight and this whole boat scene, I think is just very kind of standard and a little dull, but it's also very short. Like they kind of get through it really quickly. They're kind of like, this is just like the tag end of like, the bigger cold open that we've been having, and let's just get through it. And, like there's not a lot very, special about it or anything. And to the point where like I'm watching it. I mean, you're asking me like if I feel cold. I'm like, I kind of feel like they're inside like in a big tank or something.
I definitely felt that. I felt like it was.
Yeah,
I felt two things. One is, okay, this is a set. We're not really off the coast of Portugal, and this is not really inclement weather. And the second thing I thought of was Scooby Doo. Where like when a big wave comes over Scooby Doo. I'm not really justifying that. It doesn't really make a lot of sense, but that's how cartoony it felt.
It's not hard for you to bring up Scooby Doo.
No, actually, it's
you sort of do it sometimes.
I do. It's true. It's true. Thanks for that. I'm glad they didn't have that as a line for Indiana Jones. Wave comes and they do some Scooby thing. Oh man, no.
But see, I was thinking these waves are incredible. Like they're so visceral. Like they're huge.
They do look fun. That's what I feel like it'd be fun to be filming this and just getting splashed and tossed around and stuff.
So this Belloc guy,
Panama.
in the that's what I've been calling him. This Belloc guy in the the white hat with the red carnation. Am I supposed to believe that he's been wearing that same suit for 26 years?
It's a stretch.
Yes, because Indy hasn't changed his outfit.
Oh gee.
I think that's
right.
It's what these guys do. These grave robbers don't change their
But
clothes.
Indy did change his
shadow reflections.
But he did change his outfit because he was wearing a kerchief and like a scouting outfit last time we saw him. So he clearly has changed his outfit.
But like as soon as he met Fedora, he was like, "I'm dressing just like that guy, and I'm never changing."
Oh, good point.
Well, so I thought about. I mean, did Tote ever change clothes in 26 years?
No, that was he was born in that outfit.
Probably not. Yeah, especially like once he attained some kind of office or something.
Yeah,
he's probably like, oh, this is me from now on. This is my uniform.
It's like they're like superhero costumes. As every one of these guys has a costume.
That's
right.
That's an
like he wears for work.
Okay.
And so that leads me to the next question here. So Temple of Doom opens in 1935, right? Okay.
Uh-huh.
And this scene opens. It's 1938. What are the chances that Indy and this fake Belloc guy are wearing the same outfit?
And exactly.
Like they've both worn pretty much the exact same outfit minus the white hat.
And right down to the flower. That's too big. The too big flower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, it's like he found a look that he thought worked for him, and he just stuck with it. He's, someone told him he looked good in that outfit. He's like, hey.
Well, let me ask you.
He's like the kingpin.
How could they have signaled to the audience without insulting the audience that it was the same guy without giving him exactly the same outfit?
Impossible.
Yeah.
They couldn't have.
You have to give him an eye patch or a scar or
Yeah.
something.
Oh, that would've been
Well, they gave first of all, there's your Scooby Doo right there. It's like nobody changes clothes.
True.
Okay. And second of all, they did give him a cane.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not an eye patch, but
I don't think I would have recognized him though. Like you didn't see him enough.
Especially not in the dark. With a giant wave.
Yeah.
Right.
I wanted to know. Do you guys know what this guy's actual name is, right?
Panama Hat.
Panama Hat.
Yeah.
Panama Hat. Okay.
Yeah.
So is it weird that the two villains are named after their hats? Like we had Fedora and Panama Hat, and they're the main bad guys. Like,
but why are they bad guys? Because they're really not any different than Indy. So what is it that makes them bad guys?
They're not Indy. Yeah.
That's
opposed to Indy.
And they take stuff from him.
But see, that leads into this line. Is Panama Hat walks up to him and he says, "Small world, Dr. Jones," and he says, "Too small for two of us." And he doesn't say too small for the two of us. He says too small for two of us. And he seems to be implying that they're the same.
Oh.
And that seems like
funny.
a pretty extraordinary admission to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Indy scared of this guy? I want to call him Van Leeuwen. I keep calling him Van Leeuwen because the guy plays Van Leeuwen in Aliens. But when he's like approaching, like he comes down the stairs, like he's like this slow. He's got the cane. He's like not doddering, but he's like uneasy on his feet.
Uh-huh.
And he's coming in, and like this might be the second time Indy's seen him. We don't really know. It's probably like a little more like the third or fourth or something. But there's a slow zoom onto Indy. And like he's looking up, like after he's been like beaten up by these guys and stuff, and he looks worried. He looks actually like legitimately concerned that the Panama Hat and Van Leeuwen dude shows up, and you're kind of like, really?
No, I think that's legit because when you're a kid and you're kind of afraid of your friend's dad, and then you see your friend's dad 25 years later, you're still kind of afraid of him, even if you're bigger than he is now.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that still carries over from your childhood.
Yeah. And then like this will be the moment where Indy's like, wait a minute, I'm an adult.
Yeah.
Hang on a second.
This is an old man who's on a cane.
I'm a teacher.
See,
at college,
but I agree. I mean, it is too small for the two of them, or for two of them, because they're Indy's stealing his outfit. And that's a very signature.
What do you mean he's stealing his
suit.
outfit?
Well, I mean, in 1935, I mean, look, Indy first sees Panama Hat Guy in 1912. And then, in 1935, in Shanghai and Temple of Doom, he's literally, he's just plagiarizing the guy's wardrobe.
It's a fairly common look for the time, Jerry, for high society. Let's not go insane.
But what about this, though? Does the fact that Indy says too small for two of us, does that mean Fedora's dead?
No, he had to kill Fedora, so there could be only one.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Indy killed
Wait a
Fedora.
minute.
It's like the Sith. They're like Sith lords. Only two there can be.
Yeah. Now Indy's twice as powerful since he killed him.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true. I do. You know what I was really hoping for this Panama Hat Guy is that he was actually faculty at Marshall College, and that's actually why there was. Well,
He very well could be. That might be why Indy's no longer at Marshall College. Which I
Sorry.
ahead of myself, but
Yeah, don't get ahead of yourself.
but because then they're too small for two of us in the same department, something like that.
He wants that promotion. He's going to get it.
Did you guys ever expect Panama Hat to sound like that? Because
No.
I sure as hell didn't.
He sounds
it's like,
super American.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
sounds, and
Just regular
it's like,
dude American.
why does he work at the Daily Bugle?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and he.
Well, the reason he works at the Daily Bugle is because he is the exact opposite of Belloc in every single way. So, right?
except for his clothes.
Except for
Ish,
his clothes, which he does not wear nearly as well
No, he
as
doesn't.
Belloc for the same time. So we got Super America versus Super French. We've got, we actually don't have room for two of us, whereas Belloc's like, we're the same, you and I. We've got Refinement and World Traveler, and this guy is basically on some sort of tramp steamer in a storm off the coast of Portugal.
I think this is his. Well, I think we find out in a minute. This is his steamer, and he's on a mission that I think is very important.
Yeah, I feel like his wearing the same clothes for the last couple of decades is sort of like it's part of his. I don't know if I wouldn't call him a crime boss or something. I don't really know what his deal is. I'm sure I could read a comic book that'll tell me all about his deal. But he's got some sort of operation that he's the head of.
Yeah,
It feels, he's got something going on, and I feel like his outfit, his uniform is sort of like an outward facing, front to that or something.
yeah.
That,
Well, okay, but that still makes him the anti-Belloc, because even Belloc has to change his clothes in the same movie.
Yeah, that's true. That's
I
true.
guess, did any of us think that he was American and possibly from New Jersey?
Yes and yes, because he shows up in Utah.
See, I thought he was from Panama. Like I just took it very literally.
By the way, what if they actually called the characters Panama Hat and Fedora in the movie? Would you have walked out? I know I would.
Well, I mean, it's
Fine that they're named that
strange.
just because like they need to call them something in the screenplay and in the credits and stuff. But like if they had actually called them that, that would have been really, really
Well,
bad.
but what? Then why does Roscoe get a name? Because check it out, we got Fedora.
Are you sure Roscoe has a name?
Yes,
Do they
he
say
does.
Roscoe in the movie?
Yes.
I'll fight you.
Well, it
Lobot.
says, first of all, they do say.
They do
we
say
got Panama.
half-breed.
Yeah, they say
Yeah.
half-breed. We got Panama
That's very
Hat. We
reminded
got we got Fedora, and then we got Rough Rider.
I don't think they say Rough Rider in the movie either.
No,
We
but
got
you're
chewing
like
gum, and we got one eye, and we got
we got
Baby Porter.
Buster, and
Bazooka Joe.
I like that Indy's got he puts the Cross of Coronado in the same spot on his belt. Like everything about this is a harkening back.
oh
to
yeah.
it.
Oh, it is in his
funny.
belt. I'm actually relieved to hear that, because it really looks, the way the camera goes, it really looks like this guy is going into his pocket. And I just didn't know where they were going with that. So
Yeah.
So Indy says, that belongs in a museum, which is, what he said 26 years ago, verbatim. And, is that now his official slogan, or was his memory just jogged by the recent reverie? And because he has that same sort of self-righteousness
Yeah.
here, that which I find to be my second least favorite Indy, next to the Chinchuck.
Yeah, that might be up there for me too.
Yep.
Because it seems so fake. Like there doesn't.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're both about to bust out laughing as soon as he says that.
Yeah.
But then Panama Hat says, "So do you." And what does that mean? Is that just a 1938? I know you are, but what am I? Or does he mean that Indy's morality is kind of quaint and outmoded because now it's 1938 and the world's moved on? Or is it
kind of how I took it? Yeah. And I actually like that. I think that's a good sort of like, because it feels like we're saying, it feels like Indy's probably said that to him at least a dozen times in the last 30 years or something. And this is like sort of like half like, oh yeah, your ideas about museums are old and stupid and they belong in a museum. But it's also like, shut up with the museum thing. Like, enough. Just please stop it.
Or is it like I'm going to stuff you like an animal in a diorama? Like it's like a threat.
No.
See, here's what,
Most
what
dangerous game.
what I don't like about the so do you retort. Why would Indy belong in a museum? And then, he is kind of dusty, but that's about it. It's like, but after that, you're like, then Panama Hat says throw him overboard, which is the exact opposite of a museum.
I don't think he was literally going to put him in a museum.
but I know, but it's
figurative.
Davy Jones's museum.
Yeah, it's Davy Jones's locker. But
Exactly,
it seems like lazy writing again, all around. He's like, it belongs in a museum. He like, really? And then he's like, so do you.
I think Indy's it belongs in a museum is lazy. I think that feels strained and kind of like, all right, you said that already. It's 30 years ago for you, but it's just now for us.
Would you expect him to say, "Oh yeah, you're right"? Just go inside, get on some dry clothes, and I'll just take you back to Portugal and we'll just put it in the museum.
Right.
Speaking of Portugal, how did they get to this point? Did Indy steal the cross from Panama Hat on the boat? Or did he steal it in Portugal, like from the rightful owner that Panama had sold it to?
You have to read the novel, the kids' novel, Indiana Jones and the What Just Happened Before This Scene.
Okay, listen, Pete. I have a theory.
Okay.
I have a theory for you, Pete, and I think this is specifically for you. I think that this is actually Indy's boat. And Panama Hat and his henchmen boarded it and have now commandeered Indy's ship. And because look, what if Indy stole the cross, the cross of Coronado from Mr. and Mrs. Coronado, and the Coronados of Spain.
Obviously.
Those
he
Coronados
stole their boat too.
Yeah, and Panama Hat is rightfully collecting it back, to give to the Coronados.
Well, I wonder, is Panama Hat is he a hero?
I think this could be Indy's ship because why does he have the cross already? And what is he doing on the boat? And this is also the first time that he and Panama Hat have met in 26 years. Right?
Maybe.
But that's the impression we get. It's the second time he had to reclaim something that was stolen.
Yeah.
And if they had met prior, like 15 years ago or 2 years ago, it would have been the third or the fourth time that he would have had to reclaim something.
Sure.
So I think this might be Indy's boat.
I like that theory. My other theory was that this was another Lao-shaped airplane kind of incident, and Indy was like, "I'm going to escape on this tramp steamer that just happens to be leaving," and he doesn't realize it's Panama Hat's boat.
That's funny.
Oh, that would be bad luck.
I see that. Yeah,
but I like yours better.
So what I was wondering was something you guys said earlier, which was this is a reverie. So if it is when Indiana Jones is standing there, is he thinking about 1912? Or were they telling us about 1912 and now they flash forward to 38?
I think it's more of that.
You don't think he's thinking of 1912?
I don't think no. No. I don't know why I don't want that to be true. It just seems a little silly. I think didn't we reference like Top Secret last time?
Oh, yeah.
He's amazed. He's dreaming that he's missing his finals, and he wakes up, he's getting beaten up by Nazis. Like, oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
See, I think he is thinking of 1912, and that's why he's smiling.
Well, I've got a theory about the smiling too, because Panama Hat, once he gets the cross and looks at it, he starts laughing and smiling just like Indy did in 1912 when he had it and was climbing up that rope to get away. And I think the cross of Coronado comes with some kind of a curse that makes you grin and laugh.
Oh my word!
Because as soon as Indy grabs it back from Panama Hat, and he immediately starts grinning and laughing too. So every time someone first picks it up, they start grinning and laughing.
Huh.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah.
I missed that.
Well, and we know certainly the whole thing started. I mean, the first example of the curse is Roscoe. Woohoo!
Yeah.
He was a Rhodes Scholar just before he touched it.
He was younger, so it wasn't just laughing; it was a woohoo.
Yeah.
I just, I think, look, in this scene, if we're going to do Raiders again, give me a little bit of Raiders gravel. I need a little bit of those lines that now you're getting nasty vibe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's this thing. I think it's a little canned, as
Little dumbed down.
somebody
Sure.
said
Little
here.
dumbed down.
Yeah, a little bit. It belongs in a museum.
It doesn't have the same spark.
So do you. Yeah, I need a little bit of gravel, a little bit of nastiness.
Yeah, Indy hasn't really moved on very far. Like he's still
I
like
guess
kind of
not.
saying the same things and wearing the same clothes, and it's like, oh, it's our old familiar friend Indy. This is what he said. This is his catchphrase.
Right. What an indie thing to say.
It's like
Well,
Bart
let me
Simpson.
ask you
Yeah.
this: how is Paul Maxwell doing his Panama Hat? Is he doing a good job? Is he really filling out the character there?
He does not have a lot to do.
No, he
You
doesn't.
got about 2 lines, and one of them is like absolute stock Scooby Doo line
Yeah.
in a little bit.
So weak character, not weak acting. Then we're gonna.
I think a little bit of both. Like he just doesn't seem to fill out the character. Like he just doesn't seem like he brings a lot of depth. And I don't know. I think it's a little bit of the writing of the character, and I think it's a little bit of
Right.
He
Sure.
just doesn't seem to
Well,
bring it enough
what's
to it.
confusing is, and we had this problem last movie, but what's confusing is if we have the, fedora hat guy and then we have Panama Hat, I mean, could they have been mixed into one character? A la Mola Ram and Chatterlal. Would that have been better? Do we need
Oh,
two
shoot.
guys at the beginning of this?
Yeah, I think that's a very good point.
That is a very good
That's a
point
very good
because
point.
Mola Ram
Yeah.
and Chatterlal really, really did fool me. I really thought those guys were the same guys.
Yeah.
And it's not just cross race,
Yeah.
bias on my part.
I mean, I understand that they're different characters. The one guy inspires in Indiana Jones and, Fedora
But they kind
Man.
of both do.
Yeah.
Like Indiana Jones models his life after both of them. And it kind of, they easily could have been the same guy.
Well, he steals both their wardrobes.
It's true.
Yeah, he steals both their wardrobes. They all steal from each other. They're all grave robbers.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of
But then you'd
difference
have a
between these
fight on this boat right now with like 2 guys dressed like Indiana Jones, like fully, and it'd be- one of them drowns and blows
hey,
up or something.
listen,
Then you get like
listen.
Tom Selleck coming in
Oh,
dressed as
boy.
Indiana
Yeah, right.
Jones.
Tom
and
Selleck
you
could have played
yeah.
Panama. Yeah.
Tommy, I hate to point this out, but we do have a fight right now with 2 guys who dress like Indiana Jones.
I'm not buying that Indiana Jones in 1935 is dressed like Panama Hat.
So, but I mean, that way the character, when you talk about having them be filled out a little bit more, or
Yeah.
if it was one character, there could have been a little bit more expose or filling out.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I agree.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree.
Would that be a little too heavy in some weird way if that new fedora character was killed in this scene? Would the rest of like, oh my god, Indiana Jones just like killed his
mentor.
muse or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah.
It's a little weird.
But we don't know he didn't. Like, we
That's
don't know
true.
if he didn't kill both of them.
I'm
Right.
not sure how he gets out. How he gets out of the scene.
Well,
I'm just saying.
Out
we'll
of this
get
scene?
there.
Oh, we'll
Yeah,
get there.
I know.
Yeah.
Was that it? Does anybody have anything else for 13?
Oh, wait a minute. Why, yeah,
What?
we got that. Oh, geez, there's a big shaking coming over the wire again.
Uh-oh.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Boop, boop,
Yeah.
This just in from the eldest Billy Gruff, Mimi Porter, Esquire. Does every artifact get its own theme song?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know why that bothers you so much, Tom.
I've been chafed by the whole short round thing. I'm so attuned to it now. I know
Talcum
it's
powder
always
would
been
help
true,
that.
and it always happens, and it happens in Raiders and stuff and everything. But it's just I don't know. It's like the cross of Coronado's barely in the movie, and it gets its own theme.
It's a nice
every time you
theme
look at
too.
It is.
Right.
I love that.
God, it's wasted on the Cross of Coronado.
It is wasted a little bit on the Cross of Coronado, but yeah.
Well, I have to say I didn't notice the Coronado theme song. I was much too distracted by the size of those waves.
Dodge that machine gun barrage.
Exactly. I mean, the other thing that those waves remind me of is I don't know if you guys remember the Little Rascals. In the Little Rascals, in one of in one of them, they pretend that they're on a boat because they have to fake being on a boat in a big storm and so forth, and they have guys to the sides and they're throwing big buckets of water. I mean, really big buckets of water.
I remember that. It's the one with the fake pirates.
That's right. You know, well, where would you kick them? Exactly.
That's right. And I'd hit him like this, and I'd kick him like that, and I'd hit him like this.
I'd kick him.
The Little Rascals Minute. I would do that, actually. That'd be fun.
Me too.
That's actually 1936, so there you go.
Didn't I flummoxed everybody like prior by bringing up Woim.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
That was a Caddyshack Minute.
Yeah, it was that Caddyshack minute. Yeah, it was Woim.
Yeah. We spent about 20 minutes on Woim.
Why would we be flummoxed by that?
Up.
It's pretty straightforward. It's Woim.
Exactly.
I just forgot about Woim.
Okay. All right,
Woim.
now you know.
Oh my God, Woim. Oh, well, on the Woim note, if no one has anything else, I'm going to remind you all to support the show over at patreon.com/Indiana Jones Minute, because you can go over there and depending on what level you support us at, you can get our bonus show, Anything Goes, you can get stickers, you can get our undying gratitude, you can even get postcards from us every month, and it's a beautiful thing, and we'd love to see you over there. So yeah, you're doing yourself a disservice by not checking us out over there. But please come back and check us out over here tomorrow for minute 14 of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade here on the Indiana Jones Minute.
So do you!
Throw 'em overboard.
Where'd you throw 'em?